And now we see that these paths, the arrows, you see, they are often good orientations for knowing the tilt of the spline, but the splines. But this is not gonna affect the rig actually. As far as I've seen, it has minor impact. It could be completely twisted crazily. It's like it would not be relevant, but it's cool to look organized. Actually, the curve, it's important that it is solved, but I shouldn't move the control points here. What I should just scale so that I can change the curve. But the tilt is not important. Actually, it's more about the curve. So I could even hide the normals if they are annoying me, but then I wouldn't know the tilting that I'm making. So okay, that looks good enough. So now, before I proceed, I should really rename those bones properly, especially the controller bones. Otherwise, this would be really bad for my workflow here. Folks, sorry for this edition intervention. I had to place this clip right now because here are the correct namings for all the deformation and controller bones, not only for the spline organization but also for symmetrization, which I had forgotten. So in the next clips you're gonna watch here, there will be probably wrong namings until I finally correct them later, but I'm already placing this now. It's very important that you pay attention to those correct names and do not get confused. Actually, this one will be related to this one, then this one will be related to this one, bone deforming bone 3 to control bone 003, and so forth. So you have this, the deforming bones are always trying to match with, so not a parent, but yes, if you had a copy rotation on any of those bones, they will copy the rotation of that bone here, the controller bone that is right behind them. Ready to start creating the hook modifiers for the curve object and its control points, and I need for that visibility because I want to see the curve object in front, and I also have to, it's good to be able to see the bones. That's why X-ray is important. I don't need the deforming bones right now, and it's better to have this unlocked, this option here. So what I need to do now is that I go on the edit mode for the armature object. I select this bone that I want to be a target for the hook. So I shift select now the curve object and press tab. I enter on edit mode, and now I can select any control point here. I will be selecting only this one, and then Ctrl H, it will hook to selected object bone. And so I had that previous bone selected, this control 001 bone, hold on, and then there we go, I have hooked that control point to that bone with that automated way. It's easier to start. After, it's not so easy. I found a better way for but now it's not perfect because where are the dashed lines of the hook? It's not there because you need to assign. But there is more to it. You see that it's a bit displaced, and so I found out that a better way to do it, maybe not better, but different way to do it, is to cursor to selected, and then I use recenter. So now the hook goes exactly to the control point for some reason. It's recentered. I already have one hook modifier, but is it working? Well, let's go back to here and see, yes, it's working, but there is no deformation whatsoever. Of course, because I still do not have spline AK bone constraint. Yes, let's create it right now. Spline AK bone constraint, target the curve, which I don't, yeah, it's busy curve, no, it's, where is it? Busy curve. Okay, let's call it, I prefer curve, I contour left, yes. Let's go back to this. This is, remember, this is the last bone on the F key chain. It already has the modifier, so I contour, here it is. And of course I need, what is happening there is ugly, terrible. Let's just augment to 6. Even divisions, no. Chain offset, no. Use curve radius, no. Bone original, fit curve. Yeah, so for some reason there are some strange things happening here, but this is probably because I only have this hook. So now you see what is happening. And you see that those two bones are already connecting somehow. It's just that I need more of the hooks everywhere for the control points. I forgot that I've this new rig, and this rig has 8 as chain length. Now it's better. It doesn't have 6 as the previous one. Now it's good. Okay, so what about the rest of the hooks? Well, this time we can keep doing this, going from one armature object, then for the curve object, blah blah, all that back and forth. But I found out that there's another way to do so. So first deselect all, select the next control point you want, Shift S to cursor to selected, then yes, I can even, this is risky, but let's try it. Duplicate the hook modifier, then instead of here I use Control 2, yes. Then reset, because it might have data from the previous hook modifiers. Also, let me just copy this thing like that. Yeah, it's not very good. Actually, let's do hook. Yeah, this is better to navigate, then I never get confused of the original hook of each, because there is no display easy way to see it immediately. You have to, like, you select, and it's not very optimal, but it's good, but it's not enough, I believe, in terms of UI. So in this case, as you see, it's a copy, a duplicate, so it's still using this as reference, this hook 2. So I don't want that. I want to reset this, even though it's not enough. I actually select this. I want to assign and recenter. And so now if I deselect and press select, it's exactly this one that is selected. So this should be working fine now. Let's see what is happening. Is this bone controlling this? Yes, it is controlling the spline, and the spline is controlling the deforming bones around those two splines. Great, so there's a second hook completed successfully. We go back to the curve object on edit mode, then I get this. Remember again, oh, I need to reset those things, right? It's better. Okay, now okay, that's here. Remember, cursor to selected, then duplicate. Let's already duplicate everything, right? I need, don't care. Is that enough? 1 2 3 4 5 6, yeah, that's it. So I just gonna do this already, and we'll be organizing them one by one, like, yeah. So you see, it's a lot of manual work, and it's better to be organized. I leave open the ones that I will have to edit, So you see, if this one is the next one, I need to change the target bone to this one. So that's why easy notation, easy naming will help you a lot to find your way out. Many things will help actually. So let's see what this is. This is the selection of the, because it's a duplicate modifier. So they select all. Let's instead reset. I'm not sure exactly what are the best steps here, but I know each of those buttons are relevant, and of course using this is fundamental for this process. Recenter, yes, this should be working. So now I'm just gonna make it like production mode, right? Like I'm gonna optimize this, and if at the end everything works, that's great. Otherwise we'll have to deal with extra corrections, right? So now this is fixed. Let's see, select, yes, again the problem of this. So now I cannot be lost because I don't have, this is the thing I'm gonna work now. Assign recenter. So when I select, this is correct. Just let me check the previous one. Select, it's correct. Okay, now this one, it's the next, so let's change already this. But when I select, it is going there, so reset. Then I select again, assign recenter, done. Now the next one here is the 6, yes, the 6 here. Select, reset, then I select here, assign recenter, and you see that this dash line already means that it should be working, but sometimes it plays some tricks. For some reason something goes wrong, even though apparently everything looks good. Okay, 7. Now this select, reset. Here I select manually, then assign recenter. And is this the last one? Yes, the last one. So select, reset, then select, assign recenter. There you go. Let me just close this one so I know that I have already done worked on it. So now let's test each of the controller bones, and what you must look for is if the splines are following the controller bone properly, not only the deforming bones and the mesh deformation. So it's the most important here is to look if the splines are properly deforming, and actually everything seems to be working properly. It was a perfect setup. Nothing went wrong with the hook modifiers. Lots of things can go wrong, I assure you. If you miss one click or make some bad sequence of operations, you start to have crazy things happening, and that's and it's often very obscure to fix, especially if we are not used with the rig system, and if the naming doesn't help. So the namings are very relevant here. So we can of course improve this rig, this deformation, with more wave painting, like more waves. This is very slight deformations, but as you see, it already allows some subtle, cool expressions, right? So now the next challenge would be, of course, the symmetrization of this rig to the other side, and this means we'll probably have to remake the hooks. I don't know other way around. They are not symmetrized in any way that I know, but you don't have to recreate them, you just have to re-edit them, so not so bad, right?